Our next guest doesn't believe that Bitcoin is a bubble. In fact, he says the cryptocurrency could soar to, get this, $500,000 in 3 years. The always controversial John McAfee joins us now. John, great to speak with you.
Great to speak with you. Thanks for having me on.
How do you get to $500,000 in 3 years?
Well, let's not worry about that. Let's worry about people
got
calling
you got
the
a
bubble.
bet going online on that.
Yes, I do. People are calling Bitcoin a bubble that's bursting. Now, keep in mind that 2 months ago, Bitcoin was at $2,900, and people were saying it's never going to hit 3. Well, it hit 4 and it hit 5. If you look at the long-term trend of Bitcoin, it has been consistently up. I mean, who cares that it dropped $1,000 from $5,000 after it went from $2,900 to $5,000 in 2 months? It's still ahead from what it was 2 months ago. You know, my company is one of the largest miners in America, and one of the nice things about mining is it doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. We still make money. As the price goes down, there are fewer competitors for mining, and the difficulty rate decreases, and we simply mine more coins. So I know as well as anybody what the price of Bitcoin is, and it is consistently increasing.
I understand.
You're going, oh, wow, the bubbles burst. Go ahead.
You know, Jamie Dimon was very clear yesterday that he's a big fan of the blockchain technology, and most people actually who even, you know, call Bitcoin overvalued or what have you, they are believers as well in the blockchain technology. These are two separate issues. So why is that Bitcoin necessarily has to rise to these heights because you're a believer in blockchain? As you do, as you believe.
Well, no, I don't think that the Bitcoin rise has anything to do with the belief in the blockchain.
Okay.
It simply has to do with the belief in cryptocurrencies. I mean, once you start using cryptocurrencies, whether it's Bitcoin or Monero or Litecoin, it doesn't really matter. You see the facility, you see the ease of use, you see that without a central bank control, the value of that currency depends upon the users of that currency. And why is Bitcoin growing so fast? Because it's getting more users. More people are believing. If I do a transaction with a credit card, I have to put in my name, my address, my credit card number, the code on the back, my billing address. Well, that takes 5 or 10 minutes, especially for someone my age. But with Bitcoin, it's 15 seconds. Give me your wallet address, here's the amount, done. Once you see the facility of cryptocurrencies, once you see how fast they are transacted, then suddenly fiat currencies, credit cards, central banks make no sense whatsoever.
Maybe it's too easy, though, John. I mean, how do you... I'm sure the government would like to track where this Bitcoin is going, and they would love to tax people on this. And so if you use Bitcoin, you may not have that sort of paper trail, so to speak, as to where people are making revenues or earning money. So are you concerned that government intervention in some way could actually slow this down?
Well, it can't slow it down, but there will be government intervention. Why? Because as people start using more and more cryptocurrencies, things like Monero, which cannot be tracked at all, when they start using these things, suddenly governments are going to start losing income tax revenues. And they're going to panic, and they're going to say, this is against the law. But how do you stop something that cannot be stopped? I mean, this is not something unique to America where you can just shut it down. I mean, I can use the Tor browser or the Onion browser and access Bitcoin wallets all over the world, and no one will ever know. The government does not have enough enforcement personnel to ever stop Bitcoin, Monero, Litecoin, and all of the others. So they're going to have to face reality, find some other way to raise revenues. This is a fact.
So, John, I got to ask you, because most people know you as a cybersecurity pioneer. They know the firm that is named after you. In between that time and now, you had a very interesting life. And actually, some reports say that, you know, it's the insane life of John McAfee, that you once lived in Belize, which is true, allegedly got caught up with drugs and other illegal activities. Bitcoin has a bad rap of being used in the underground. That's why people want to use it, because they want to conceal nefarious activity. Do you see that potential? Are you concerned about that as attracting government regulation?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm still a security specialist, and I keep track of the dark web. Bitcoin is very seldom used anymore on the dark web. It has been replaced by Monero as the currency of choice, because Monero is absolutely anonymous, cannot be tracked, either the sender or receiver of any transaction. They're literally invisible. So it's not Bitcoin itself, but cryptocurrencies as a general group of things that are being used on the dark web. And that will always be the case. Bitcoin used to be the one because that was the only one available, but not anymore. So Bitcoin is sort of out of the dark web and into the light. And 99.99% of its use is legitimate.
So, you know, John, I don't know if you know about this, but, you know, Jamie Dimon watches the show pretty frequently. He's probably listening to you right now. I mean, do you have any words for him as to why he's got it wrong? I mean, would you want to place that same bet that you made on the internet with Jamie Dimon, for instance?
No, I would like to say this, Mr. Dimon. I respect you, sir, for your position. You know, people who rise to your position are not idiots. However, sir, what is, you called Bitcoin a fraud. I'm a Bitcoin miner. We create the Bitcoins. It costs over $1,000 per coin to create a Bitcoin. What does it cost to create a US dollar? Which one is the fraud? Because it costs whatever the paper costs. But it costs me and other miners over $1,000 per coin. It's called proof of work. We have put massive amounts of computing power and electricity in creating these coins. Surely there's some value in that work that we did to create the coin. And the fact that Bitcoin is consistently growing in its use and in its value has to say something. You know, sure, it will rise and fall, and it is highly volatile, as all new technologies are.
Right.
And at the same time, it is certainly not a fraud.
So you're pretty sure that you're not going to lose this bet that you have on Twitter?
No, I don't ever lose bets. Sorry for my bets.
All right, then. John McAfee, great to speak with you. Thank you.